Okie dokie.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Good Sunday morning. And on behalf of the Center for Functional Nutrition, I'd like to welcome you to our Sunday morning coffee house. And I was realizing this morning that we're coming up to a year, and it has been an amazing year for us, for Brian Russell and I, and Evan, actually, to have all of you here every Sunday morning. We've learned so much. There's been so many warm and endearing moments, and we're just learning and meeting so many new people. So thank you for all being a part of this. And I think I'll just hand it over to Brian.
Well, thank you, Megan, and welcome everybody. Yes, we are getting close to our 1-year anniversary, and it really is absolutely amazing to look out and see all of you and to have so many memories of what we've created together. Just incredible, incredible people in this community, and to see it grow and expand and impact lives is an idea we had at our Sunday morning coffee table, almost a year ago. And to see it turn into what it has turned into is just extraordinary. But, that's what happens when you get people together around a common mission. Extraordinary things can happen. So thank you for doing this with us. And speaking of extraordinary, I am so excited, happy, thrilled, grateful to be introducing to all of you a friend of mine and an incredible human being and practicer in the world of the arts and, of course, health and healing. His name is Terry Beck, and we have gotten to know each other over the last 3-4 years. And as you'll see, Terry brings an incredible mix of skills and experience. He's been working in professional dance for over 30 years, probably longer. And he's done incredible work actually globally, leading dance troupes all around the world. And he is also been certified in Chinese medicine and acupuncture since the mid-90s. And what I'm really excited about today is that Terry is going to somehow weave all of that together. And I know that he can. And I personally, I have gotten so much benefit just from a virtual friendship with Terry. I know that we will meet each other someday, and I know that what he'll offer all of you will be incredibly valuable. So without further ado, Terry, you may need to unmute yourself because you were muted, but the floor, the stage is yours, as I'm sure you're very familiar with. We can't hear you yet. Yeah. The little microphone with the mute. There you go.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
Thank you, Terry. Go for it.
Thank you.
So please just for those people here that don't know you, please just tell us who you are and how you've come to join us on our coffee house today.
I'm happy to, and I'm happy to be here. And thank you for inviting me. And it's so nice to hear you introduce me as your friend, because for all of you, Brian is my friend, but this is the first time in all these years that I'm actually seeing him. First time. So I was thinking before we started today that we live in such a different world now, like that you can have friends who are on the other side of the earth somewhere and have this kind of connection. It's wonderful, and it's also, well, like Brian said, I know I'll meet Brian at some point in my life, and I look forward to that time. But this is certainly a wonderful way to connect, and I'm happy to be here. So, what would you like to know, Brian? How would you like me to start this little journey?
Yeah, I'd love for people just to get to know you. You've been on this incredible journey. I've heard your story, and just give people some insight into how you have gotten to where you are today.
Sure. So when Brian and I were talking, he was asking me to put together a little bio about myself, and I talk about my dance career and my work with Tai Chi and Shiatsu and teaching dance and teaching theater and acupuncture, of course, which is the main way that I live my life at the moment. But all of these separate careers are actually all one career to me. I don't separate them out at all, because each one led to the next one, which led to the next one, which led to the next one. And so all woven together is who I've become now in the world. And I use them all in everything that I do. Let me just jump back. When I first went to college, I went to Temple University in Philadelphia, and I went there to be to train to be a special education teacher. That was my goal. That's what I was going to do. I'd worked with kids in high school and doing independent stuff in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, where I was from. So that was my path. And when I got there, taking my regular courses, I had to take a course. Now, it's not described this way now, I've come to find out, but I had to take a course that showed that I could, this is the way it was described, that I could use my body in some way. I thought, what? So the advisor that I had at the time kept pushing dance. And I kept saying, no, I want to take an art course. I could take an art course. No, take dance. And he pushed and pushed and pushed at this. And I balked at it. I said, no, what the hell? I don't want to do that. I'm not interested. He said, really, look, do it. And I said, why are you pushing this? And he said, look, it's 2 credits. You won't have any homework. You'll have fun. Just do it. Get it out of the way. He also then shared with me that he had had polio as a child and took dance all his life to strengthen his muscles and legs, et cetera, et cetera. And so he just loved the art form. So I thought, okay, fine, I'll do it. And I guess, like in all things, that when you have a really wonderful teacher, it can change your life. So I walked into this dance class like a puppy and thought, okay, what's up? And I had this extraordinary teacher named Sherry Popkins, which I love that. And I absolutely fell in love with the art form. And I took every possible dance class that I could take, every kind of movement class that I could take, until finally the university said, you know, you got to stop this or change your major. I changed my major. So, and then again, I was taking every course that I could possibly take. And within a year, I was in a professional company. And I was fortunate to be in this company called Zero Moving Dance Company, and we performed internationally, and it was a terrific thing. And I'm going to go through this rather quickly. And then after about 8 years with the company, I was doing more and more of my own work and giving my own independent concerts. And I was seen in Philadelphia at one of my independent performances by the Rockefeller Foundation. And suddenly I was summoned to New York. It's like, okay. So I go and I go to New York, I go to the Rockefeller Foundation, and basically, which they don't do anymore either, they said, here's a boatload of money, boom, do what you want. It's like, what? Just do it. We like your work, just go out there and make work, do whatever you want. So I chose to create my own company. And I used the money to be able to pay the dancers. So my company was called Terry Beck Troupe, and I was with them we were together for a good 9 years. And I started that company really in the heyday of arts funding in this country. And as arts funding diminished, which it still to this day is despicable in this country, there are no really new budding companies out there making work because it's just not funded anymore. So after those 9 years and funding was getting harder and harder to get, I realized I was spending more time trying to raise money than doing my work. It's like, what is this? This is not what I'm meant to do. So let me back up again. During that whole time in dance, of course, I was taking every movement experience that I could. Somebody said, take a Tai Chi class. I said, what's that? They said, don't worry about it, take it. And so again, I had blessed to have an extraordinary teacher named Maggie Newman, who at the age of 94 is still teaching Tai Chi in New York. stunning. And Maggie changed absolutely the way I look at movement. And it was absolutely incorporated into my dance. It formed how I thought about movement, how I thought about dance, how I created. So it changed everything. Also during that time, somebody said, oh, why don't you go get an acupuncture treatment? I thought, isn't that for people who are sick or what? Just do it. So I did. And that first treatment that I had, I guess it must have been about 1979, stunned me. It completely stunned me. And the practitioner who then later in life became one of my teachers, his name Jack Daniels, which he of course got ribbed about all the time, but wonderful. It just made a huge, again, impact on my life. And I thought, you know, I have to study this one day. I really have to look at this. So when I was ending my dance company, I did a lot of independent work for a number of years. And I woke up one day and I thought, you know what, I don't want to be 80 years old thinking, how am I going to get my next grant? Who's going to hire me now to do work? What do I do now? And it was like being acupuncture. So I went back to school and became an acupuncture practitioner. Going back to school to get my master's degree in acupuncture. It was, of course, it was the most daunting thing I've ever done. It was frightening, and I wanted to jump in full tilt, and I did, and so here I am. So I moved to Dunkirk, New York, which is about an hour south of Buffalo on Lake Erie. It's a very depressed community, and there's a university near here called SUNY Fredonia. So I just wandered in one day when I heard that they were starting a dance company. I introduced myself and they said, you want a job? So I thought, oh yeah, sure, why not? Let's do that too. So I was teaching dance improvisation there. I'm now currently teaching a class called Movement for the Stage for these budding performers. Just to understand movement as a phenomenon in their art. So there I am. So and those students also in my Movement for the Stage class get a Tai Chi class with me every week, because Tai Chi incorporates everything I want to teach them about movement, how to be in touch with the body, how to be grounded at legs, how to be balanced, how to breathe. All of those things are right there. If I just did Tai Chi class, that would be Movement for the Stage. But of course, we combine lots of things, but every week they get that class. And these kids who are about the age when I started all said, you know, what's Tai Chi? Is that slow thing they do in China? It's like, yeah, okay, here we go. So hopefully I give them the kind of experience that I experienced all those years ago. That's it in a kind of the Reader's Digest version. So.
Well, thank you, Terry. There's so many golden nuggets in there, and such an expansive career. And I love your story of how movement has been so central to everything that you do. You know, I don't understand acupuncture completely, but I understand that it's all about energy movement and blockage and releasing. And I love that you have dedicated your life and your career to helping people create more movement, and you do with the Terry Beck flair of bringing in, you know, the dance and the artistic side. And you definitely have flair. I know that about you. So I think it's wonderful. And I'd love for you, you know, when Terry and I were, oh, sorry, go ahead, Terry.
No, well, please go ahead.
I was just going to say, when you and I were talking about, you know, what can we offer to the community, you know, because as much as we would love to just go to Dunkirk and get some acupuncture, you know, what could we all do together virtually, especially, you know, during, you know, the pandemic. So if you could share with everyone, Terry, I know you've put together a very unique and special program for our community. And I'd love for you to just share that with everybody.
Well, as I said, these kids get Tai Chi from me, and I've been teaching Tai Chi now for a long time. Maggie, my teacher, was adamant when I first started. We all, as the students starting with her, had to sign a paper saying that we would not teach until she said we could. Tai Chi is an oral tradition, and she was the assistant with Professor Chenman Chang, who brought the Yang short form, which is what I teach, to this country. And she studied with him. She was with him for a long time, right up until his death. She started with him in the 60s. And because, again, it's an oral tradition, and because as Tai Chi has become more and more popular in the United States, more and more people are exploring it. However, what's happening is that people think that, oh, that's easy, I can do that, I can teach that. But the lessons in Tai Chi are very distinct and very important to learn the depth of what's being taught. I was hired by a senior center to teach Tai Chi, which is great because I combine that with balance classes. Often people want to study Tai Chi in their older years because they're concerned about balance, et cetera, et cetera. So I was happy to do this, put together a whole package. They loved it, and then called me and said, well, we're actually going to go in another direction. I went, okay, and what are you going to do? The woman who was running the center said, oh, well, I'm going to teach the class. I'm going to teach Tai Chi. I said, oh, really? Okay, what's your background? Well, I had a weekend course a few weeks ago, so I know I can teach this. So, I mean, I'm not going to argue that with them, if that's what they think they're going to do, but whatever she was offering, and I hope it was something interesting, it was not Tai Chi. It certainly was not Tai Chi. I try to make my Tai Chi classes as accessible to who's studying with me as possible. And it's a challenge. It's a challenge in person. And now, because we're living in these unprecedented times, how best can I teach a Tai Chi class when I can't gather people right here in my room, somewhere, and really watch what they're doing? And of course, this is what's possible. It's not ideal, but it is possible, is to teach over like a Zoom class, that kind of thing. I was doing that. There's a community not far from here called East Aurora, and I started doing that there. And I actually put a stop to it because I wanted them to give me, and I'm going to have to do this myself, is get a larger screen. Because again, to do this really well, I really want to see what persons are doing, not little blurs in the distance, because again, I want to teach it correctly. So what I'm saying is what we could do is that we could offer some kind of Tai Chi class, because to use that word earlier, it is a journey. It's a journey what you learn, because you really learn about how you move in the world, how you are in your body. It's not just exercise, and it's a dynamic exercise, but it does really incorporate so much of a person. I tell my classes now too, if they want to find out the benefits of Tai Chi, go to the website of the National Institute of Health or the National Institute of Aging. Both of these organizations have done massive studies on Tai Chi, and they start to say that people breathe better, their balance is better, their legs get stronger, they sleep better, they seem healthier, et cetera, et cetera. They list it all. And this is what the Chinese have been saying for thousands of years. But because, the Western, those that are in the know say, oh yeah, this is something good, suddenly it's gotten the blessing. It's gotten the blessing. So, and it's all there, and people do see changes when they are consistent with it. And let it be part of their life. Maggie, my teacher, was pretty adamant about, you do it every day. It doesn't take hours at a time, it takes minutes, but you do it every day as part of your life. And then you start to notice all of those things I just mentioned. Things absolutely change. And we become healthier. Yeah, I can say that. So when these kids come to me in my teaching at the university, and I look now because people are sitting longer. They're sitting longer and longer and longer in front of these screens. And I look at these 18, 19, 20-year-olds who are so disconnected to their bodies. I mean, disconnected. They have no idea even how they're moving. And they imagine themselves going out into the world and becoming performers. I'm a little stunned. I'm a little stunned. So, am I talking too much?
No, it's perfect, Terry. I wanted to, clearly let people know that, you are going to be offering a virtual series, and you've put that together in a very accessible way, and it's going to be, it's going to be grown in a way that works. So anyway, just to let people know if they're interested, I'm already looking, I've got 2 people. If you're interested in kind of growing this program with Terry, he has opened himself up to doing that and creating that with our community. And I love it. Lots of people putting their emails in. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yes, we're going to get to that in a second. But this will be just a lot of an incredible opportunity for all of us. Terry really is a master, and he takes that very, very seriously, as he's kind of humbly saying. He's not someone that's a fly-by-night, hey, here's your Tai Chi course. This is very important to him, and he loves it and wants to deliver it to all of you. So Megan, if you can kind of look in the chat and just take note of everyone, please. And Terry, we have some requests. If you could just share with everyone maybe something, maybe a quick movement that people could take away from today. I know that I would find that very valuable. And I know you can't express everything in a couple minutes, but maybe just something that we can all take with us today. That would be wonderful.
Well, when I start Tai Chi classes, one of the first things that I do absolutely is have people. Learning Tai Chi is about observing not only other people in the world, but observing yourself in space. So we don't think about that too often, and that's understandable. So what I do in my very first classes, I don't know if you can see me, if I can I'll stand back a bit. I think I have people, can you see me at all?
Yes, tilt your camera up a little bit, Terry, and it'll be perfect. But yeah, that, and now back up. Yeah, that's perfect like that. Yep.
Well, you can't quite see my legs, but basically I have people just stand. So much is going on in a simple stance of being planted on your feet. So I have people stand in a shoulder width apart, which is the outside of the shoulders. And I'm very adamant about the placement of the knee to the toe. So the feet are parallel position, absolute parallel, shoulder width apart, slight and relaxed bend in the knee. Not a plie, so we're not doing a dance class where you're actually bending the knees, but when you relax in the leg, you can drop right into that. The knee just releases. And then the weight of the body goes through the entire leg to the foot. So that's the first stance, just noticing that. Then I start doing this little tour of the body. So to notice the feet on the floor, what does that feel like? What does that feel like? And I use the image of having your feet become like bread dough, spreading out. So as the weight releases down, as you relax in your body, you feel the weight of your body going down. The feet relax and spread out like bread dough to take the weight. And then when you start to notice that too, when you're just standing, and then I have this other little thing that I'll go through in a second, is that when you relax, you'll start to notice that your body actually shifts. You kind of feel like yourself going onto the toes, and then maybe back onto the heels. And the Chinese refer to this as bamboo in the wind, which I think is lovely, because we're not trying to grip the muscles to stay in place, but we're releasing. The body knows how to balance itself. It knows how to do that. And we'd allow that to happen. We don't fight it. So we're started there, the legs are relaxed. If I press back into the knee joint, then I engage the muscles. I want to keep them flowing. I want the energy to go down. And then I put my attention into the tailbone, and I imagine my tailbone going all the way down to the floor, so that I'm not doing a deliberate pelvic tilt that you might get in some aerobics class when they have you hold. If I allow the pelvis to release, it falls right into place. And then I just really go through this whole visual imagery of going from the tip of the tailbone all the way to the top of the head, and allow the head to float to the ceiling. Now, floating again is about releasing the neck and the shoulders. So I'm not trying to pull my head out of the shoulders, but if I let go, you just feel yourself raising up. So now we're working in two directions, north and south. And then if I go to the sternum and I feel the opening across without pulling my shoulders back, I feel that expanse in the chest, wrap around to the point between the shoulder blades. These are all acupuncture points as well. And imagine that the whole back is opening up. Now I'm working north, south, east, and west. And I'm right here. That's the starting place. And then from there, Tai Chi is really just about shifting weight and turning the waist and movement of the arms. And it's all, the beauty of Tai Chi is how it's immaculately designed. There are no tricks. There are no tricks. One movement flows into the next movement, into the next movement. So while Tai Chi is taught in sections, it's actually one continuous movement. And that's how we learn it over time. And the way I teach the class too, one of the things that people say all the time is, I can't remember. But we learn by repetition. And so I always review from week to week what we've already done, so that you get it over and over and over and over and over again. And I tell all my students, I'm accessible. If you have a question, write to me, call me up. I'll see if I can talk you through it. But again, in class, you will definitely get it again and again and again. And I also work very much in an environment of no judgment. You don't judge yourself or the class or anybody else. You also don't compare. When people start to watch me doing Tai Chi, I'm clear. I'm not any better than you. I'm just more practiced. That's it. We do Tai Chi where we are in our bodies, and we can notice the change, not by trying to be somebody or do something, but to allow it to happen. It's a very natural process. And if you start judging yourself, you create your own roadblock and beat yourself up and then drop it, which is unfortunate. So it takes some time, but it doesn't take a lot of time in your day. And when you start to notice what's occurring in your body, the ease in movement, the freedom, the breathing, all these things that I mentioned, who would not want to do it? Who would not? So, and that it can be done anywhere. You don't have to drive yourself to a gym, get a little space in your house or apartment. Go for it. So that's my little Tai Chi spiel. I mean, clearly I love this stuff. I really do. Doing it all these years, it is a part of my life. And last thing too, one of the things that Tai Chi is referred to is meditation in motion. So any of you who meditate, either you're allowing yourself to focus on your breath or a mantra or what have you. But and what happens is when you lose the breath, when you lose the mantra, you go into thought, then you just bring yourself back. And that's the thing with Tai Chi. We learn it, and then it becomes muscle memory. And then it becomes, I can be talking to you here doing Tai Chi, and I can just, the whole day I can plan right here as I'm doing Tai Chi. I can plan it because it's all in my muscles. But when I follow the movement, just like I'm following the breath or following a mantra, and I'm really paying attention to the movement that I'm doing, that's when it becomes a meditation. And that's when the whole practice deepens. And that's when it expands from there. So that's the beauty. So it's not only an exercise, but it is this incredible meditation in motion. So which is not to say you shouldn't do other meditation, but this is yet another way to find that place in ourselves.
I love it, Terry. I mean, it was just, even those few simple movements, it was like, whoa.
Yeah,
there is a level, you know, everyone keeps asking Terry to just see you do a little bit more. If you would, you know, maybe just 30 seconds of a fluid movement or something. It's just beautiful to watch.
Well, let me I'll bring up the camera a little bit. I'll move this table behind me. So unfortunately, I don't think you can see my feet.
No, we
I
can't.
don't think I can. Well, I'll just do a little bit, and so you get the sense of flow. There are very specific foot positions that we're in as we're doing it, and I go through that very clearly. And like I said, I'm in my class, I'm adamant about the placement of the knee in relation to the toe. One of the things that people can do right away, and I have them do right away, is, again, without judgment, is watch how you walk. Just notice it, observe it. So, I mean, I see this in the world all the time, which you can't see, but you can imagine if people walk and they have the feet turned out as they walk, rather than the toes pointing forward. We're built, I mean, we are miracles of design, so that we're built with the pelvis, knees, toes all in line. That's the way we're built. But through bad habits, and it's just bad habits, people start to walk with a turned out position. So what happens in that respect is you've got the knees going in one direction and the toes going in another. And then over time, the knee continues to torque as you're walking. So in my acupuncture practice, one of the things I treat all the time is knee problems. And then people say, oh, it's just because I'm old. Oh, you know, give me a break. It's not that at all. It's, well, let's look at the position of your knee and toe. And the body wants to be in that position. So after doing Tai Chi for a period of time, you start to be uncomfortable when you're walking with the foot turned out and torquing of the knee. Your body wants to go back to what it knows. I would tell, oh God, I'm talking a lot. I tell people also to look at preschool children. Preschool children, oh my God, perfect posture, unless there's, unless there's some kind of physical problem, perfect posture, knee and toes in alignment. This is the way we're born. I'm just reminding us of that as we go through. And then the last thing about a knee, obviously I'm really adamant about knees. The knee is a weight transferring joint, not a weight bearing joint. So the moment we start to feel pain in the knee, if we look at the relation to the knee and the toe, most likely what we're going to see is we're putting weight into the knee rather than the foot. So I'll just do a little bit of the Tai Chi form for you, what you can see. If I don't crash into any walls here. And I won't talk while I'm doing it. I'll just do a little bit. And also, last thing is, it's always taught in the same way. The starting point where I'm going to start now and where I travel is done the same every time. It doesn't change up. Okay. Trying to see if you can still see me in here. I think I'll stop there because I'm going to crash into a wall in a second.
That's awesome, Terry. Oh my gosh.
And also people look at this and think, oh, I've heard this, for all these years. Oh, I'll never get that. I'll never be able to do that. Nonsense. It's nonsense. I've never taught this class where somebody hasn't been able to get it, to understand it. And part of it is just letting go and trusting. And like I said, the design of it is so perfect that when you start to realize that you're just on this little travel, my God, it's great. So.
Well, beautiful. Thank you, Terry. That was just an incredible exercise today, a beautiful story of someone dedicated to an exceptional craft and multiple modalities to help people and to better the planet. I love it. And if anyone has any comments or questions, we've got a lot of people. We'll organize everyone together into an email group, and we'll just let you know the schedule and how everything will happen. So Megan, we've got everyone. We're all set with that. Okay, perfect. Russell, go for it.
Terry, thank you very much. It's a delight to see you. We talked on the phone several months ago, but it's great to see you in person. And I just wanted to acknowledge, and Brian knows this, and Megan knows this, and Evan knows this. I have been totally lax in my physical movement, exercise, etc. It's the worst part of my health routine. I have failed miserably in this area. But I don't know if you remember, but I was a founding member of the American Shiatsu Association. So
right. Yes.
Early in the 70s and early 80s, I learned a little bit about Tai Chi. I learned a lot. I learned a little bit about many different approaches. And even in my 30s, 40s, and 50s, when I was not practicing anything healthy for my body, exercise-wise every day, I always had this fantasy. I had this sense that when I reached the age of 65, I would start learning Tai Chi. And I just want you to know that tomorrow is my birthday. I'll turn 66. And I have made a commitment right now, because of you, Terry Beck. I'm going to learn Tai Chi, and I'm going to learn it with you.
Oh, well, hallelujah. I've always said that people come to
That's
Tai Chi
awesome.
when it's time. So this is your time. I teach my oldest student. My oldest student was 92. My youngest student was 10, that I can remember. Yes. So any point in life, when we come to it, we come to it. And like I said, it's just a dynamic form of exercise and everything else. So great.
Awesome.
I'm happy.
I love it. Thank you, Russell. Anyone else that would like to share a comment or a question? Yes, Dan the Man Shanahan.
Yeah. Terry, thank you so much for your beautiful talk and also your exercise. It was like a beautiful stream, the way you were moving. Powerful, gentle, and the graciousness of the silence of it was so quieting for the mind as well. So, and the body. But this is an image. Carla and I are attached to an Indian meditation tradition of siddhas. And one of the images that's primal to that heritage in the Vedas and the Rig Veda is this image of Nataraj Shiva, who creates the universe as he dances.
Beautiful.
And there is no place in this dance where we are not. So we're never not connected from the center of the dance of creation. Yeah.
That's gorgeous. And just that in that image of look at all the movement in that right there.
Yeah, right. Right.
Like it's not a still image at all. It's all
no. Right. Yeah. So God bless you for blessing us with the Lord of the dance. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Danny. Quickly before Carol, we had a question come in the chat. What's the difference Terry, between Tai Chi and yoga? If you could, if there is, or what that would be.
Well, yoga, that's a great question. First of all, how they were created are different, and countries, et cetera, but that's less important. Yoga, just like there's all kinds of, wait a minute, let me get this in the most cohesive way. Tai Chi has all its own, it's all rooted in the same traditions. There are different families of Tai Chi, different forms of Tai Chi, but they all have the same root. So you'll see similar movements no matter where you study. Much like yoga as well, it just depends on how you want to do your yoga. For instance, there's flow yoga, there's all kinds of yoga which will hold postures for a long period of time. There's postures that will continue to move really quickly. It depends on how you want to study. It's a bit more physical, if I can use that word, than Tai Chi, but I don't want to diminish the idea that Tai Chi is dynamic exercise. Absolutely. The philosophy of Tai Chi really is the efficiency of movement with the least amount of effort, which again does not mean it's not dynamic. It's just, let's get to the simplest way to create the most dynamic way we can be in our bodies. I love yoga. I do yoga all the time, but I don't do yoga as a Tai Chi exercise. I meditate. I do yoga and I do Tai Chi, but they really are in separate camps as far as I'm concerned, but all valuable and all wonderful.
Awesome. Thank you, Terry. Carol, go for it.
I wanted to just make a comment that I was extremely stressed. I got really sick about 7 years ago. And I've been going to the gym for years, and I just wasn't able to do the exercises. So I started doing Tai Chi with some friends of mine that teach all over the place. I'm sure it's different than Terry's because they tend to teach it for arthritis and for seniors, and sometimes just chair Tai Chi. And it was really good because I was so stressed. It was really good for my brain because I could not think of anything else except what I was doing when I was learning the Tai Chi. And of course, I don't do it now. So maybe you need to get me back on it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's when you do Tai Chi and over a period of time, and as I've been doing it over years, it's like adding to the well. We keep adding to the well. And that's why I think about acupuncture too. Every acupuncture treatment is adding to the well. It's never starting back at point zero. So you have some experience with Tai Chi. It's there in your body. And now we just need to remind you. It's like, oh yeah, okay, let's go from where you know. People come to me in Tai Chi not having a clue what it is. So we all start at different levels, but we all start and we work where we are. We work where we are. That's why I was saying earlier, my Tai Chi is not better than anybody else. I'm just more practiced. So
we did some exercises on walking, and you walk incredibly slowly, which is really good for the balance. It's not easy, but it really does teach you how that should feel.
Absolutely, because Tai Chi really is simply walking and turning the waist. That's all it is in many ways. And these kids that I'm teaching over at the university, we're right now in a week three. First 3 weeks, I do nothing but walking, and how walking, what we can learn from walking. There's all kinds of walking meditations as well. But I'm trying to have these kids understand, just like you said, what is going on when I'm walking. There's so much happening. And the miracle of being able to walk and to balance and to move through space. The challenge for me is not to have them turn it into something that's foreign to them. To try to walk rather than allowing themselves to walk. When it becomes, when they put on, when they're trying to do something in particular, that's something else. but the simple act of walking where you are in life right now teaches you a lot. That's a great comment that you said. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. And I do in the beginning of my Tai Chi classes do a segment about walking. That kind of idea of heel to toe, kind of rolling through the foot, emptying one leg as you fill up the other leg. That's simple phenomenon. It's glorious. So
thank you, Carol. Well, I'm sure we could keep going. Okay, we're just going to keep going. Carolyn, go for it.
I'll be brief. I just wanted to tell you, Terry, that was lovely. Jana has been saying for like, I don't know, a year maybe, we need to take Tai Chi, we need to take Tai Chi. And, I took it for a period of time in my 30s and also a period of time in my 40s, but just haven't kept up with it. So it was really wonderful reconnecting to it today through you. So thank you for your presentation. Pleasure. And Jana and I both look forward just exploring it with you. So, and Russell, happy early birthday. Glad you were born.
Thank you.
That's right. Thank you, Carolyn. Yeah, I'm excited to connect with all of you in that capacity and move and dance together. Moving and oh, sorry, go ahead, Janet.
I just want to say that it's very easy to, as she was just saying, to get away from it. You study for a while, then suddenly, but my goal is to have it be part of your daily life. You put it on your schedule. And it's not like taking hours out of your day at all. What I start teaching is called the first third. There's the whole form, which is long and beautiful and wonderful. But the first third, when you do it slowly, it takes about 5 minutes to do. It takes a while to learn it. But then when you have that 5 minutes, Maggie used to say, if you learn only the first third, you've learned everything. Because again, the design of it is so spectacular. Everything that comes later is dependent upon the first third. And so, which is fantastic and easy. So.
Yeah. And I loved what you said about how it calls you, or, when you're ready, or whatever the statement you made. And I feel like that's what's been happening. So again, thank you.
Oh, pleasure. Thank you.
So Terry, I just wanted to say, like Carolyn, I've taken Tai Chi in the past. And when you started your movement and you did the, my body did what it used to do, which is just go.
Perfect.
Oh, wonderful reminder. And yes, I'm all in.
Yeah.
Back to the first third. I'm good.
Good.
Thank you so much, Janet. Yeah, it really was. It was a profound silence when you did your movement. It's hard to explain, but it was, yeah, we'll just leave it like that. So Terry, you have made a difference in all our lives. This is just a beginning. And thank you so much for spending time with us today and for continuing to create with us, collaborate. Thank you so very much. And as I said, it's just a beginning. So without further ado, we do want to just share some good news. So I know everyone is in a good space with energy, and we want to just put a little cherry on top with our very own Dan the Man Shanahan, who is going to sing us out into our Sundays.
Okay. And Carla B's we're going to sing together.
Oh, we got the dynamic duo.
Yes, we do, the dynamic duo. Yes, She Who Must Be Obeyed. And so this is a song called Reach for the Stars. And it was written years ago by a woman west of here in the hills called Karen Brooks. And she wrote it for her daughter. And Russell and I met her at a party in the hill towns way up in the woods one night. And before we went there, 3 bears crossed the road. You remember that, Russell?
Yeah.
Mother and her 2 cubs.
Yes,
Yep.
I remember.
Yeah. So we were blessed that night. So this is called Reach for the Stars. Reach for the stars and you'll never be sorry. Reach for the sun and you're never alone. Reach for the wind, it will tell you a story. Reach with your heart, it will lead you back home. And we can sing together, and we can sing as one. Follow the dream forever into the land of the sun. Reach for the stars and you'll never be sorry. Reach for the sun and you're never alone. Reach for the wind, it will tell you a story. Reach with your heart, it will lead you back home. God bless everyone.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. So
Thank you,
everyone,
Thank you, Terry.
reach out
Marianne.
with an open heart today and touch someone's life. Thank you so much, Danny and Carla and Terry Beck and everyone here that created this incredible morning together. Again, reach out with an open heart and share that with someone. Thank you so much, everybody, and see you all next week.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful week.
Bye-bye.